Hello, welcome today to our podcast show, My Experience, where we touch on issue that is bothering us. And today we have this special episode today with our brother Taiwo Obiele, and he will be taking us today on some issues that borders on our people to just give us an insight and answer some questions regarding his sector where he work. Like everyone know, he has been on this show before. He works in the UK civil service, and we'll try to ask him some questions today so that he'll be able to educate our audience. And that's why we call it a special episode. And without much delay, let's welcome our brother. Thank you today, bro, for joining us. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you for having me. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice to have you on the show again.
Thank you.
Like I said the other time, you are just an asset. So we'll try as much as possible to extract all the knowledge.
Thank That's something. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So without much delay today, we'll quickly go into the business of today. So our first question today is like we want to talk about how our people can get into civil service and especially getting a good job and job that has more security. So without having much to say, so if we can ask as an immigrant in the UK, where was the first step you took when you were applying for a role in civil service? As in, what were the first steps you take when you were applying for a role in civil
Well,
service?
well, um, there are two parts to that question.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I got into the civil service via what they call fast stream. It's a
Mm-hmm.
graduate program. Anybody can apply. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't make it to final, if you don't get what you apply, there are different strands, different area you can apply for economist role, you can apply for
Mm-hmm.
statistician role, you can apply for generalist role, you can apply for diplomatic role. There are loads of roles, and it's done once a year. I think
Mm-hmm.
it came out 2 days ago. 10th of
Really?
October. Yeah, 2 or 3 days ago, 10th of October, the new one for this year. So if you make it to the final, I didn't get the the fast stream itself, but I scored enough uh, mark. I had
Mm-hmm.
enough score to be offered what they call direct appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably the easiest way to get into the civil service. Because there are a lot of resources out there online with individuals um, to tell you what has happened in the past and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also, while working in the civil service, because I joined the direct appointment was an HEO grade, higher executive officer, and
Mm-hmm.
I started applying for higher role, and I got a grade 7 role. So that
Mm-hmm.
was direct appointments, like going on the
Appointment.
website, looking at
Mm-hmm.
jobs that are available and
Mm-hmm.
applying for those jobs, just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, um, there are many ways for individuals to apply into the civil service. I think there is fast stream. That's one. There is something called tax specialist program. Is currently on HMRC
Mm-hmm.
organized
Mm-hmm.
that 500 people every year.
Mm-hmm.
They've stopped it for a couple of years now. They've started back again. There is one currently going on, and then you have also what's it called? You have some other program. Then you have other programs where uh, you can do like a 3 months. What do we call it? When you go and work, but for a short period of time during summer,
Internship, yeah.
internship. You can go in,
Mm,
join. There are many internship, and some of them are actually focused to bring in people of ethnic minority people and people who are
mm-hmm,
economically challenged and socially disadvantaged. So,
mm,
if you check on, if you Google this, you find. Then another way is through apprenticeship. Every year,
mm,
government departments, you know, offer apprenticeship program of many. You can be an accountant. They will train you while
mm,
you are getting
mm,
trained. They will pay for you. Cyber
mm,
security, they will train you. They will pay for you.
mm,
You don't have to. The only thing, a lot of the apprenticeship, there are different types of apprenticeship. There are a lot of them. You only need GCSE. You don't need to have a
mm,
degree. They will train you
mm,
and you will get that qualification. Some, the qualification is
mm,
actually a degree. Some, the qualifications are masters. It depends. So you can always
mm,
choose the one you want. And in terms of, you ask a question around what, because there are so many ways, so it would take me
mm,
a whole lot to go through different way. But we have internet these days. All these are open
mm,
secrets, so people can go and
mm,
check the civil service apprenticeship. Google that fast stream program.
yeah.
Direct appointment is on civil service website, civil service
Mm,
jobs.gov.uk, and so many. Now,
mm,
in applying for job, a lot of us have this mentality that your work experience back home in Nigeria doesn't count. Of course, it does. You don't have to forge in civil service. You
mm,
don't have to forge experience. You don't have to,
mm,
um, you know, do what was it called? What do they call it? Reference, fake reference, and all that.
reference, yeah. Mm,
Your experience back home still work. Um,
mm,
Civil service does not really bang on qualification a lot of the time. They don't actually bang
mm,
on uh, um, uh, whether you have the experience. A lot of the time you can get away with
mm,
that as well.
mm,
They're not looking for, even if you are a stay-at-home mom, there are many jobs you can
mm.
apply for in civil service, because they don't look
Wow.
for qualification, or, oh, you have not worked in a while. You return to work is allowed. People who has been
Oh,
stay out, they've been working for them, they've been at home for the past 10 years. Look, as long as you can, you you know what you are doing, you can do the job,
mm,
you can make good decisions. It's
mm,
excellent decision makers. That's what
mm,
service is looking for. So if
mm.
you've been looking after your children all this while and you want to work, there is job for you. In fact, there is job for every kind of human being you will have,
Human being.
because the civil service represents the whole society.
Yes.
So,
Mm,
and they're trying to ensure that everybody is represented. There is always a job
mm,
for you, even if if you have two GCSEs, there will always be
mm,
something for you.
mm,
Even if you are handyman, you working with
mm.
your hand, there will be a job for you. You know, so that's the most
Okay,
important
so
thing.
they just to kind of deviate a little bit. In the case of some of our brothers who comes here for their masters and like international students who are looking to get a stable job, like a job that can possibly give them a sponsorship to work within. And what is there anything, because most of these internships and apprenticeships did not, when they has the criteria that in most cases you have to be somebody that is around, maybe home person or something.
Okay,
Do these people, do they have a chance in that kind of that area?
right. Okay, I will talk a little bit because it's not a straight answer, so I'll try to explain it so that people can understand. First thing
Mm,
first, as long as you have some form of stay in this country, civil service will employ you.
mm,
As long as
yeah.
you have stay and you are a Commonwealth citizen, Civil service will
Yes.
offer you a job. Now,
Mm.
there are a lot of jobs, especially the apprenticeship programs.
Mm.
I mentioned the apprenticeship program, forgetting that there are people
Mm.
who just came into the country doing their master, as you've
Yeah.
said. Um, require you to must have lived in the country for at least 3 years because of background
Hmm.
check.
Yes.
So that will disqualify a lot of people.
Hmm.
Okay. But there are loads of jobs in different
Hmm.
departments where you don't need to have lived in this country for at least. I can show you if we go live now and Google it, there will be thousands of jobs where that is not required. I mean
Hmm.
thousands, if not thousands,
Hmm.
hundreds. You see, and there are some government departments that don't do sponsorship, but there are
Hmm.
some that do sponsorship.
Hmm.
So it is your responsibility to check to ensure that that government department offers sponsorship. And what are a lot
Hmm.
of the time you will meet up the criteria. Nuclear waste
Hmm.
services, for example, the company I work for, they offer sponsorship. I
Hmm.
didn't know. I only know that through a Nigerian guy who was
Got it.
a business analyst, and he actually made an argument that he was probably the first person that they did it for because the company didn't know how to go about it when he pointed
Mm.
it out to them.
Wow.
They didn't know that they have it. The HR
Yeah.
didn't know, and he told them he was the one that actually put them through. So he said he could argue that he's probably the first person, and he got
Wow.
it.
You see.
He got it. He's working with us now.
Mm.
So it is your responsibility to find out. I believe there is a website where you can find out whether an organization can issue sponsorship or not. There is a list. The guy told me, but unfortunately, I can't remember. But I can find out
Okay.
later on after this and let you know. Maybe you want to tell your viewers. But I'm sure
Okay.
they will know it. A lot of them will know the website. So a lot of government department issue sponsorship. You don't have to have lived in this country for long. I know a student who has not even finished his
Hmm.
course that applied
Hmm.
for a fast stream. We were together in the final exam. We were together, and
Hmm.
so I'm not sure if he made it to the end because that was the day we went to the assessment center and I met him. He was
Hmm.
actually a student. He's been in the country less than a year, and he
Wow.
applied and he got to final. So there are so many opportunities. And there are
Hmm.
direct appointment, direct job that you just go on there. Just make sure does this department offer sponsorship? And
Okay.
if they offer sponsorship, does it work with this role? Because I believe that recently they've bumped up the salary that you have to
Hmm.
be taking before sponsorship can
You.
even work. So you want to apply for those jobs in that category.
Hmm.
So it's quite straightforward. Civil service don't hide anything. Everything is there. If you go on their website, I don't think there is
Hmm.
any question you will want to ask that is not there already on their website. So so they made it so that it's easy for everyone.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you mentioned, although you have said most of the job does not require somebody for any form of degrees. So, for what are some key skills, or maybe like some skills that people can highlight in their when they are applying for civil service job? Are there any specific experience that they can highlight in their applications that can give them an edge?
Not really. All experience matter. It depends on the job you are applying for. All experience.
Mm.
Like I said, if you have been the one looking after or your family, you've been the one that been or you've had some downtime where you've not been working in some years back, there is a
Mm.
job for you. Now, we have to be specific with this thing. Say, for example, the role is the role of an economist. Of course, you will need a degree.
Mm.
Those are technical roles, specialist role, but there are generalist role,
Mm.
that they don't require a degree. In fact, I
Mm.
can mention loads. They don't require a degree. The job that I'm doing at the moment does not require a degree in civil
mm,
service. A degree is okay, but it's not a requirement, whether you have a degree or not. My line manager, when I was in Department for Education, didn't have a
mm,
degree. When I was in HMRC, my line manager didn't have a degree.
mm,
You understand? And I have a degree.
mm,
So it doesn't really matter. The key thing in your application is to be able to pass the situational judgment test,
mm,
is to be able to answer the competency-based questions.
mm,
You see, is that straightforward? If you can pass it, you'll be considered. Sometimes, if an experience is required or a qualification is required, they're very
mm,
rare. They will put it there. But it's
mm,
usually their soft skill they are looking for. Maybe somebody who
mm,
can make a better decision, somebody who understand how important um, looking looking at how important it is to look at the bigger picture when you are making decision, or
mm,
somebody who who can who like to work in a fast-paced environment or things like that.
mm,
And
mm,
also, one thing I would say though is, if you want to apply for a role,
mm,
this wouldn't affect your application much, but it will possibly help you at interview stage. So I'm moving ahead
mm,
now. It's pretty
yeah,
much around you understanding the success profile, because that's what the civil
mm-hmm,
service use in their
mm,
application, in their recruitment process. So
mm,
understanding the success profile, what it means, and how that is used in the recruitment process. So as
mm,
you can see, it's not about the qualification. It's not about
yeah,
I have this skill, I've worked, I have 10 years experience. A lot of the
mm,
time, although there are some jobs that are reviewed based on your CV,
mm,
they will rate your CV. But recently, some people on my WhatsApp group, I posted a job,
mm,
and four of them actually made it to interview stage. A caseworker role
mm,
in civil service,
mm,
in
mm,
HMRC. It doesn't require a degree. It doesn't require prior experience.
mm.
So any experience we do. So, but can you
Okay.
pass the decisional judgment test? Can you pass the competency-based questions and all that? That's what matters.
So that's this now comes to bring us to that our next my next question is okay. Seeing how you have emphasized on that competency and decision making skills, and for people who are just new in the system, how are they going to navigate? Do you have any tips? Like because since the job interview mostly relies on is a kind of a competency based, which could you share any tips for them? Maybe anything that can you
Well,
know.
it's very difficult to it's very, very difficult. Now, to answer your question, you will have
Mhm.
to permit me to use a scenario.
Okay.
And this is the scenario. You are
Mhm.
a manager
Yeah.
in an organization. You manage two people.
Yes.
In your industry,
Mm,
um, there is usually a conference that is
mm,
held every year, and
mm,
all the companies, we present one person who would do some sort of presentation, and
mm,
and bear with me. And the presentation, whoever wins, the presentation will be judged, and whoever wins, we get £100,000 for his company. Now,
company. Yeah.
last year you sent somebody to the conference, and
Mm,
that person won 100,000 for your company.
yeah.
This year again, the conference is going to happen at some point this year, and your director calls you and say, "Hey, Joseph, um, this conference is coming up. I want you to send somebody Who will you send
Yeah.
and why? This is a question I always
Yeah.
ask people during my presentation, during my seminar, a civil service seminar.
Yes.
I've been asking this question for many years. I can count
Mm,
the number of people that are able to answer that
mm,
question correctly.
mm, mm.
Our decision making process is very poor, and we can see the result in Africa, in Nigeria. We don't make good decisions. A lot
Mm.
of the time, the way and that affects how you answer those questions. Those questions, they don't ask you about your qualification, about your academic prowess,
Mm, mm,
what is, no, 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 no. The questions are based on how you think. And that's why
mm,
it's the biggest barrier to Africans getting into the civil service.
mm.
It is the biggest
Yeah.
barrier. You will do
Mm,
it, you will fail it. And you will think you actually did well when you finish. If somebody asks
mm.
you, how did you do? You will say, oh, yeah, I did well. And then you say, oh, maybe some people say, then, maybe they are racist. No, they're not. You just don't pass it because you can't think well.
Yes.
If you are from economically deprived society, even if you are rich, but you are in the midst of poverty, abject poverty,
Yeah.
the way you would
Mm,
think will be different. Now,
mm,
it's even worse if you too you don't have money, you struggle as well. So you are always in hustling mode. If somebody
mm,
is for example, somebody said if somebody is in hustling mode,
mm.
then survivor will take precedent over morality.
Morality. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Survivor will take precedent over morality because you just want to survive. Now,
Mm,
with the scenario I just did now, believe me, a lot of Nigerians. In fact, I asked somebody this morning because I offer business case training. I did a training
mm-hmm,
this morning, and
mm,
the lady that was on the training, I asked exactly the same. I put the same scenario, and he said, "I will send the
mm.
same person I sent last year." That's how we think.
That is taking a risk.
That's how, no,
Yeah.
that's how we think. Say we play it
Yeah.
safe, hustling mode,
Yeah.
hustling mentality. That's how
Yeah.
Nigerians do things. In Nigeria, our politicians, that's how we do it. We
Yeah.
tend to play thing because we hustle. So we want immediate gain, we want fast
Yeah.
gain. We look that that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, because he wants to, if he goes, since this person have won it, they will win again and they will keep going so he's afraid if he send another person, they will lose.
And here they don't think that way.
Yes.
Those are the time. That's a real question, by the way. That's
Yeah.
one of the
Mm-hmm.
question. That's one of the questions they could ask you. So they will
Yeah.
say they will pick the same person, forgetting. And that's
Mm,
why I remember when I was in Nigeria. If the director of finance or the um, permanent secretary of a ministry travel abroad, sometimes you
mm.
won't get paid because he
Until he
won't
comes
be
back.
able to sign the paperwork to for salary to be released. Can you imagine that?
If he dies
So
on plane crash, that means your salary will stay there for
would
some
be
months
held for a
until
very
they.
long time. Sometimes private businesses as well. If the oga
Yeah.
travel, nobody gets paid.
Mm,
Do you see? So we build our businesses around one person. We are, we are very, even if somebody asks you now, say, there's this business, blah, blah. Can you tell me, you won't want to give that person the source of the supply, thinking you have to
mm.
be the only person. And then
To
when
know
you die, that source died and the people don't have access to that
the,
supplier and the business collapse. Your
the
children don't
business
even have
collapse.
access.
Yes.
You see, so that
Mm,
makes it difficult for us to
mm,
pass that. And they test, this type of behavior and what it has, seeing the bigger
mm,
picture, making effective decision, changing and improving, leadership, communicating and influencing,
mm,
working together. Which other one? Delivering at pace, managing
mm,
quality service, making effective decision,
mm.
and seeing the big picture. I don't know if I'm
Mm,
repeating myself again.
yeah.
Those are the things they look at, and they will tell you specifically for a specific
Mm,
job. which behavior they will be testing you against.
Mm. Okay.
They will tell you they're not going to just show up during interview or in the application process. No, 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 no.
Mm.
They will have told you in the advert, and it is now for
Mm.
you. But how do you practice for this? How do you know? How do you understand it?
Mm.
That is not, I would have loved to cover that, but that's a different topic entirely that I can, it's a different thing entirely. It will take ages.
Mm.
So I teach that
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
Okay. So um I'll just use one as an example because it take
Mm.
ages. One thing you
Okay.
want to do is that in the in civil service, the success profile um document is online. you know
Mm.
it's very clear on what, for example, making effective decision means.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things you need to hit is that you engage with other people, you use available data and information to make decision, and people don't
Mm-hmm.
understand how to do that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you want to give your example, when they say, tell me when you have made an effective decision and what was the outcome.
Decision.
For example,
Mm.
yeah, people will
Mm-hmm.
start saying, I normally make a good decision. I've made a lot of decision in my place of work. I always ensure that this. That's not what they're asking you.
Mm-hmm.
What they're asking you is to give them an example.
Example.
That
Mm-hmm.
example has to incorporate all the things that they wrote, and I mean that is written in the success profile on what making effective decision means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, in fact, I have an example of that in my computer. I could read that
Mm-hmm.
if you want, but again, it's a very big thing. I believe now there are some website that could help people. You have to pay. It's not free. You
Mm.
pay and they teach you. So when they teach you, it's not that they're going to come up with, you have to come up, but you will understand how to come up with your own.
Good
So
question. Yeah.
so because you have to use a specific example, and there is a way
Mm.
you will write it using the star method. That
Star
is, the
method.
star
Yeah.
is the what is the situation.
Special
From that
situation and
situation, then what is the task
the task.
that you are involved in, that you are asked to do, and what is the
Mm-hmm.
action? What action did you
Action.
take, and then
Yeah.
what
And the
is the
resolution.
result? Now,
Yeah. Result.
when they say the action,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to talk about what you did as a team. You want to avoid the
Mm-hmm.
word we.
Yes.
You
Yes.
want to make sure that you talk about I. Well, my
Mm.
my team was tasked with so um
Mm.
um stuff. We were asked to do this, but this is my participation with this task was to do this, and this is what I did, this is how I did it, and this is the result.
Mm-hmm.
Incorporating those quality on making effective decision. One of
Mm-hmm.
them is looking into, I can't remember that on top of my head, is making use of available data, having looking at available research work that's things like that, and also I think involving others where necessary, and
Mm-hmm.
also I think standing. I can't remember the rest of them, but there are about seven things
Mm-hmm.
that they expect you to include in
Yeah.
that write-up. Now, if you are
Mm.
writing it down in your application, because sometimes they ask this and you type, it's not more than
Mm.
250 words. You
Mm.
can't write more than 250 words. Anything after 250 words, they won't read it. In fact, I don't think the website will allow you to put more than 250 words. So
Modern.
you
Yeah.
have to, it has to be succinct. It has to be
Mm.
brief, and it has to be straight to
Mm.
the point. And you can use
Mm.
the same example you give in your application during interview, because that's exactly what they
Yeah.
will ask you again during the
Mm.
interview. And then another thing is that a lot of people don't know that during interview you can actually come up with a note to help you. I'm
Mm.
not saying you should go there and start reading like this.
Mm.
No. You can actually go with the only thing you want to do as common sense. Is it okay? I
Mm.
have some notes here. Is it okay for me to once in a while look at it? Are you okay with that? They will tell you
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay. Okay.
They will tell you it's fine. You are okay to get a note, you know, simple note that will help
Mm.
you jog your memory or things like that. It's
Mm.
okay to have a note. They will never say no. Even if it is a physical interview, you are okay to go with
Mm.
a note. If
Mm.
it is online because they won't see the note, always make sure
Mm.
you tell them that, oh, before we
Mm.
start the interview, are you okay for me? I've got some notes, some things written down. Are you okay for me to put it beside me here? And once in a while, I'll be looking into it. They will say it's fine
Mm.
and look into it once in a
Okay.
while to answer your question.
Mm. Wow, that is nice. So, moving on to our next questions, that still revolves around people who are not very, very conversant with the system. Obviously, um, a lot of our people comes in from different countries, especially, and they kind of have a cultural shock. And in
Mhm,
most cases, their first point of call determines, especially, what they turn out to be.
mhm,
Just for example, when you come to when you meet your friend, or maybe when you land from Nigeria or from Ghana, for example, and your friend who is accommodating you for the first few weeks works in the warehouse, and all they can tell you is just go and find an agency and register while you are
mhm,
doing your masters or while you are going to your school. All your mind is just working, and you see a lot of people, they end up with master's degree and stagnant in one
mhm.
place. So, what if I will ask, what challenges did this, you know, what can people actually do in this kind of regard? Is there anything that we need to do differently?
Well, first and foremost, anybody that still have the notion that wherever, when they come to abroad and wherever they live, determines how they go in the country, that person is still living in la la land because that time is over.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, if you tell me that, I agree. Now you have the internet. You
Mm-hmm.
can even know everything you need to know about this country before you come here.
Mm-hmm.
You can even rent a house in this country before you even land in this country. You
Mm-hmm.
can check for properties, locations, wherever you want. So when you come here, people you meet no longer determine how you are successful or what path you take. Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, yes, but not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What will determine where you will end up in this country is how you use your internet, your data.
Mm-hmm.
That's what will determine where you end up. The information is out there in the
Mm-hmm.
open. If somebody tell you is warehouse alone, you
Mm-hmm.
can check online yourself. You can
Mm-hmm.
even ask AI, what job can I do? I have this qualification,
Mm-hmm.
this experience. What job can I do in the UK? It will tell you. So you, that argument no longer holds. That's one.
Okay. Okay.
Number two, you do not need to have a qualification to get good job in this country. Very good job. The only problem you will have in this
Mm-hmm.
country is time. Are you willing to suffer now so that you don't suffer tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to spend time now so that you don't spend time tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
That is the only problem people have. If you can shake that off, you will go far in this country. It's not easy in this country. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
for you to be stable in this country, for you to be stable, you need to be earning minimum of £100,000 to live,
Mm-hmm.
to have a very quality life.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum 100 grand, not 80, not 90,
Mm,
100 grand.
mm,
If you are earning 40, 50, you are going nowhere. but earning 40, 50 is a good start.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I'm not saying
Yeah.
you will be comfortable, you will become a millionaire, but you will be okay.
Mm.
You'll be
Mm.
able, if you don't live above, even if you are earning 25,000, I'm not encouraging
Mm.
anybody to go and be looking for 25,000 pound job. But what I'm saying is that
Mm-hmm.
even with 25,000 pounds, if you are sensible, you will move out of London.
Mm-hmm.
You move to where
Yeah.
you move inside some bush, just
Bush,
like I
yes.
did. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Then
Mm.
number two, in regards to job, let's take construction industry for example. A
Mm.
lot of people don't understand in this country. If you have
Mm.
come to this country and you have your stay and you want to be successful,
Mm.
construction company is the best place to start. Now, there are so many. I remember when I first came into the game, one of the odd job I did was to work as a laborer on construction site. And I don't have time to talk about the whole story. But
Mm.
when you go to construction site in this country, it
Mm.
will open your eyes to so many jobs that people don't even know exist. You
Mm.
don't need qualification for them. You can just be going with somebody every day and then you learn the job of them.
Mm.
I know a brother till today that never did construction work in his life,
Mm.
and that's what he's now using to eat. There was a man
Mm.
that me and him we came together at the same time because I stayed with their wife,
Mm.
with his wife when my first day in this country.
Mm.
In fact, I was the one that introduced him to the construction. Today, he's a site manager. You know how much site manager earn? About £300 to £400 a day. This guy bought a house in London. He's driving
Mm.
Jaguar. I'm not saying that I'm not talking about wealth. It's all about money. No, I'm
Mm.
just trying to show you the other side as well. I'm not saying if somebody
Mm.
earns 25,000, they're not going to be happy and comfortable. Of course,
Mm.
I'm only talking about people who don't want to settle for that kind of job, that they
Yeah.
want to go higher. Not everybody would, and that's fine. That's okay.
Mm. Mm.
Construction industry, for example, you have crane driver. It's a
Mm.
training. They offer you the training. I think it's somewhere in Birmingham or Northampton as a crane driver.
Mm.
Crane driver will get you about between £200 to £300 a day. If it is too windy, you won't work. You still get paid. If it's raining too much or too cloudy, you won't work. You still get paid. The work can take you to anywhere in the UK. A lot of the time, if they have to get you because you have experience, you know the job, they will pay for your accommodation. I think it's a 2 week training. You don't need a degree. All you need is common sense and be good with height.
Mm.
Another job in construction is that people don't think about is plumbing. You don't need to go to college to become a plumber in this country. You can just walk to any plumbing company and say, listen, I want to learn this thing.
Mm.
I will work for you for free, maybe once a week, twice a week. I've told you that. I just said it earlier that, time, payment
Mm.
of time, that is the most
Mm.
important thing in this country.
Mm.
Plumbing is there. Electrician is there. Electrician get about 20 to 25 pound an hour as well.
Mm.
Electrician, you can go to college. You're not going to incur a lot of debt to become an
Mm.
electrician in this country. And there are private institutions in this country that will
Yeah.
offer you the
Yeah.
training as well. And you get your city and guide qualification. Not
Education.
just that. And there's something called architectural steel workers. You know all those
Mm.
people that fit staircase,
Mm.
what's it called? All those like
Iron.
iron thing
Iron
that
metal.
they have been pre-made in the factory, and then
Mm.
all what you do, or steel frame building, some buildings
Mm.
are steel frame, and all
Mm.
those metals have been pre-made. All what you do is
Mm.
look into the paper, and they will have told you how to. It's just like doing DIY but on a bigger scale. All you need is
Mm.
ratchet spanner and all that. When you work with people, I can guarantee you, when you work with people depending on who you are, for a month, 2 months, 3 months. I did it. And after working with them as a mate, they call it mates. You work
mm,
with them, you clean with
mm,
them, you see what they are doing. I bought tools back in the days. I bought all the tools, and I went to another agency that I'm an architectural steel fitter. That I'm a steel fitter, and they gave me a job.
mm,
And I started doing it. So I just joined myself to a Jamaican guy on site. The first site that I went,
mm,
I said, my brother,
mm,
and it was very nice. I started putting me through things because I barely done it for 1 month with people
mm,
doing it, work among them. And I
mm.
started getting £15 per month. That's about 20 years ago. I'm just getting
Mm.
£15 an hour. You understand? So architectural
Yeah.
steel fitter it doesn't even have any qualification. There's no qualification
Yeah.
for it,
You
as
just
far as I am aware. You understand?
mm,
Not just that,
mm,
you can work as uh, dumper driver. That will get you about, I don't
mm,
know how much now, maybe about £12 an hour. Dumper driver within
mm,
the site. If they need to carry loads
mm,
to that place, you will get the load. You drive the
mm,
dumper. It's called dumper. This small
mm.
vehicle like this, and you
Yeah.
just dump it there
Right.
and come back again. That's all you do. When they need you, they will call you. You will call you on radio. You go to the location. They will put it in, and then you just go and dump it and drive back. That's all. Then you have the traffic marshal. Traffic
Mm,
marshal will pay you around, maybe, I don't know now. The 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 salary or wages I'm telling you are from 15, 18 years ago. So I don't know now. Things might have
mm,
stayed the same or a bit more. I don't know. Traffic marshal, a little bit, you get a little bit more than and this is London wage I'm quoting, about 18 years, 17 years ago. Traffic
mm,
marshal
mm,
will you go out for the training. I think it's a couple of days training. You have it. You
mm,
have the thing. You control traffic on construction site.
mm,
Yeah, you get about £12 as well.
mm,
You have a banksman, the
mm,
one who when the train is carrying things, the one who control and make that people stay away for safety
mm,
reason and all that. You get around the same, around £13 or so. There's
mm,
always job. You don't really do much.
mm,
Then you have the crane supervisor. You go and do the training. I think it's a week training. You get about
mm.
£200 per day. You see, crane
Yeah.
supervisor is the one who take control. Who, when the crane is lifting things, is the one who
Mm,
manage the crane driver and the work and stuff like that. Things like it's
mm,
about £200 per day. Crane driver.
mm,
And I can mention many. There are many. Even there is another one called hoist driver. You know the hoist, before they make the lift,
mm.
when they are working on all the
Yeah.
floors, there is something, it looks like
Yeah.
lift, but it's not. It's not lift.
Mm,
It's just
yeah.
a
Yeah.
temporary, they call it
Mm,
hoist,
mm,
that carry
yeah.
things
Yeah.
from step to step. There is somebody that operates it.
Mm,
It's called hoist driver. It's like a laboring job. You train for that. I think it's a 1 day or 2 day. I can't remember again. You get about 12, £13 then in wages. So you go
mm.
home with about £130 a day, because a lot of the time, construction work is 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah. I've worked in construction before. When I was doing I was assistant driller. We had where that time they were starting the new tunnel in around Canary Wharf,
right, right.
the network rail. Yeah, we one of the company I work with, we had a contract to install some of the monitors that they used to monitor the effect of underground train
Underground drilling.
outside. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so we are drilling in different locations and putting those monitors within London where those train will pass under the ground. So we are drilling about 15 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet to install some, they
To
call it
install some,
inclinators.
it's a
To
geological sensor, something like that.
sensor, yes,
Yeah,
yes. So
geological sensor.
I was trained that time as a driller, how to use the drilling machine to drill those holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine. That's all. Is that a degree? Is that
No,
a
I just
degree?
went to. No,
Please not.
I
You
just
probably
went
1 week
to the
training.
it's not 1 week, it's one day. I
One,
went to
you
Halifax
see,
to the
you see.
to the company that made that machine. They only teach you how to operate the machine. So I went there. They teach me everything about the machine. After they teach me, they ask me to operate it. When I did, they give me a certificate that I am certified to use this
To
so
operate the
machine.
machine. That's it. A
Yeah,
lot of people don't know. There are so many things like that in construction
yeah,
that is
yeah,
like free
yeah,
money. If you want,
yeah.
you can make career out of it. You know,
Yes,
you can make
yeah.
career out of it. So it's not
So
just civil
so
service alone, because there are some
mm,
people that
mm,
they've not come, they can't study. Maybe they've passed some certain age, they
yeah,
just did the masters like that, but they have some skills. I remember a guy
mm,
who came to me to work in civil service. So after talking to this guy,
mm,
then he said he's a builder in Nigeria. He did building technology
mm,
and he actually worked as a builder. He was showing me on his phone also.
mm,
That time he hasn't spent a year in the country. And he
mm,
came with stay
mm.
because marriage. I said, my brother, why do you want
Yeah.
to do the civil service? He said, because my wife told me to come and talk to you, but and I don't think my experience as a builder in Nigeria will work here. I said, who told you that? He said, we do things differently in Nigeria. So I said, "Eh,
Mm,
ha." I said, do you want to work as a builder? He said, yes. I said, then go and work as a builder. I said, my
mm,
recommendation to you is first of all, go and apply to work as a laborer to understand how things
mm.
work here. I said, work for as a laborer
Yes.
for 3 months. I said, don't work more than
Mm,
that. 3 months in
mm,
on site. I said, see how it is, see how
mm,
they're working,
mm,
see the way they talk, understand the health and safety.
mm.
I said,
Yeah.
today, my brother, this guy is training to be an health and safety officer,
You see, and
which
that
is a
is a
lot
lot
of
of
money.
money.
And he's still working in
Yeah.
construction. That was
Mm,
like 3 years ago. So
yeah.
I haven't spoken to him in a couple of
Health,
years. So I
health
don't
and
know.
safety
But
officer,
I know he's
they don't
training.
really do anything.
They don't really do anything. And they get
They
paid
don't do anything.
well.
When they come to site, they will just if
Are you using
check
your
your
Google?
working,
Are you
you
using your
Google
Google? Are you
your
wearing hard
helmet,
hats? And that's it. And they
yeah,
put the report. You
and
see?
the boot.
Yeah. And the boot.
If you are working in a place, yeah, if you are working in a place where you need to wear high VC for people to see you, all
Yeah.
those
Are
kind
you
of
wearing
things,
it?
yeah,
Simple.
yeah,
You
and
see?
they make their report and
And they
off
make
they
their
go.
report. So,
Yeah.
and I said, and today, because the guy was worried about a year ago, we haven't really talked but I see him post a lot
Mm,
of stuff on WhatsApp and things like that, which I'm
mm,
happy for him.
mm,
But that's it. There are
yeah.
a lot of opportunity for those people who don't want to be bothered with, do you have any skill? Have you done anything? Some people are very good with their hand back home in
Mm,
Nigeria. Of
yeah.
course,
Yeah.
it's transferable.
Yes.
I know it's
So
civil
let's
service, but we talk about that a lot, but also to let people know that it's not, if civil service is not for you, there are many other areas you can
other, yeah,
explore
yes,
in this country.
yes, that is good. So let's move on to this. Your just like obviously you've been in this sector for a long time.
Mhm.
Have you encountered any kind of uh, like stereotypes or maybe all these biases during your job?
Yeah, yeah,
While working in the civil service and environment, I don't want to
yeah,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of
I
things that.
get you. Yes, of
Mm,
course, I have. In fact, I had some two serious uh issue, but wouldn't say it's racism. I will not, with
mhm,
the knowledge I have now, I will not say those are racism.
mm,
So if
mhm,
somebody asks me, have I experienced racism in civil service, I would say no. If you asked me 4 years
mhm,
ago, 5 years ago, I'll probably say yes because of what happened. But in
mhm,
hindsight,
mhm,
with the knowledge that I now have over the years, definitely those are
mhm,
not racism. And I thank God that I didn't go down the road of racism when those things happen. I did not go through that
mhm.
route. I went through the route of unfair treatment.
Okay.
And I got a good deal. The issue was properly
Mhm.
resolved, and I was happy because
Okay.
because I've worked in civil service
Yeah.
before. I know things how things work.
Yeah.
Believe me, the civil
Mm.
service in Nigeria and this country are exactly the same. It's just that one is producing
Mm.
better results. But the
Mm-hmm.
office politics
Mm-hmm.
and all that, they are the same. So,
Mm-hmm.
and so is one of the biggest problem you will have if you are ethnic minority or you haven't lived here in this country for long, or you've lived here for long, but you've always lived among uh, Africans. You know, some people live here, but
Mm-hmm.
they're actually in Nigeria. They eat Nigerian food.
Yeah.
They make Nigerian
Mm.
friends. They live in Nigerian community and they
Mm.
go to Nigerian church. Nothing connects them with this country. You know, they are
Mm-hmm.
living as if they are
Yeah.
Africans. Some will even order
Yeah.
their food from Nigeria. You see, so they are not really integrated. When you work in the
Yeah.
civil service with that, if those kind of people work in civil service, they will have big problems.
Mm.
It will be a culture shock, and you will always cry racism. Let me give you an example. Say you go to the office and
Mm-hmm.
you go into the kitchen because they always have a kitchen in the office, and
Mm.
you go with your egusi soup with panla, okpolokpo, and you put it in the microwave and you warm it and you open it. You open the microwave and start eating your food. What do you think will happen? The smell of okpolokpo, the smell of egusi will cover the whole kitchen. Do you think the people will
Yeah.
like you?
They'll be
The
complaining.
Europeans are not used to egusi soup and okpolokpo smell. To them, it's a
Yes.
bad smell. Now, they won't be able to tell you that the smell is
Tell
bad
you.
because they know you will take
Mm.
offense. But if you
Yes.
continue doing that every time, people will stay away from you. They wouldn't want to stay in the kitchen when you are there. When you live there,
Mm.
I remember there was a time I was living in a house in London, shared room. Back in the days, we'd rent one room, like three people, four
Mm.
people. We rent one room in a flat or in a house. And I was living with two Polish girls and one Irish guy. So
Mm.
I was, you might you can edit this. I don't know. Then
Mm.
I was the only black person.
Mm.
Anyway, every time I cook in the kitchen, these people will just quickly take fleet and be fleeting the whole house with, like
Mm.
a vanilla smell or something, fleet and cover their nose. I didn't understand it. I used to get angry. So I moved
Mm.
out of the house and I went to live in a place, Wood Green, where the landlord is from Cyprus and the wife. And I was living with them in a spare room. And then I
Mm.
started cooking my fish, frying fish. The husband and the wife, they run out. Say, what are you doing? I say, I'm frying fish. Say, can't you smell the smell? It's bad. The whole house, you can't get rid of the smell. Open the window. Open this. Don't fry fish. You want to cook fish? Fine. Let me show you. Put a bit of what's it called? Lemon, a little bit
Garlic.
on it, and grill
Okay.
it. Put a bit of lemon, a little bit, and grill
Uh-huh.
it. They say grill it, it will look as if it is cooked, it is fried, and with reduced odor. Then I remember
Mm.
that where I was coming from, this is the same problem I have with these people. If you are living with Nigeria,
Mm.
nobody will tell you that. Nobody will flee the room. They are used to the smell.
Mm.
So when you do that at work, people will not like you naturally. It's just like if I'm in Nigerian civil service now and say, Mr. Joseph, say, let's assume that I'm older than you, and you come
Mm.
to me and say, Taiwo, how are you? And you shake my hand. Do you think I will like you
Mm.
as a Yoruba man?
No.
I
No.
won't, because my
Because that.
culture, you should not call me by
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
You
You
understand?
show
So
respect.
even in a
Mm-hmm.
job environment, if I cannot tell you off or slap you in the
Mm.
face, I will
Mm.
find a way to deal with you. Is that racism?
Mm. No.
That's not racism. So a lot of the
Yeah.
things we call racism is actually our own lack of understanding of the culture.
Mm.
You understand? So when you get into the civil
Mm.
service, that's one thing you need to be aware of. There are some behavior you must not try. I remember
Mm.
my first time in civil service. I was working in Department for International Trade, now Business and Trade. That was my first job.
Mm.
There was a time I saw my director coming,
Mm.
coming into the office with bags, about 2 or 3 bags. I
Mm.
quickly run to go and help
To
me. He
go
said,
and help
leave
you.
it. No, 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 it's fine, fine. I said, no, no, bring it, bring it. I tried to carry it. He's, and the guy refused. He insisted. No. He said, no, what are you doing? Come on. It's okay, thanks. And he walked away. I was so upset. That why wouldn't he let me
You
carry You understand? Because in
yes,
Nigeria,
yes.
when I saw my boss, my manager, or anybody coming, we'll run away, we'll run quickly to go
They
and
will
carry those
expect you.
things.
Yes.
They will say,
Mm.
well done, thank you,
Mm.
thank you. Here it's not like
Yeah,
that.
they will like you. Mm.
Yeah. And it was like, what are you doing? No, no, no. I said, it's fine. Thank you. And he
Mm.
walked away. I hated that man.
You
So
see.
in hindsight, I realized that I was the stupid one because I
Mm.
didn't understand the culture.
Mm.
Everybody, in fact, initially it was very difficult for me to be calling them by name. Somebody
By
that is old
name.
enough to be my dad, I would say John, and he's my boss, and I would say John.
Mm.
I found it really difficult. You see,
Yeah.
so you are likely to experience that, and if you're not careful, it
Mm.
always reflects on us as somebody who is not fit to make good decisions. Somebody you will end up being
Yeah.
somebody who is shy, and if you're
Shy.
not careful, your accent, you will think your accent is not good enough. This is how I speak at work, and I have a very good job. Only very few people earn
Yeah.
the type of salary that I earn, and this is how I speak. So don't let your accent put you off.
Yeah.
Germans speak English like German. Russians speak English like Russian. Americans speak English like
Mm-hmm.
American. You are African. You of course, you are expected to speak English as an African. You understand? There's
Yes.
nothing wrong in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong in that. So those things, it can cause you inferiority complex. And sometimes we want to do. There are so
Mm-hmm.
many things we can talk about that. In fact, it's a topic on its own on things you must never do at work. So I can't go through that today because it's quite a lot. I've
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
it's like 2 slides on my presentation. We can go
Yeah.
through that.
We,
Things you must never
mm.
ever do at work in Europe.
Yeah.
If you are in Europe and you want to work, you want to have good work relationship with the staff,
Mhm.
with everybody, your line manager. There are some things you must never do.
Okay, I think that what you just said just come directly under the next question I wanted to ask you. But since we are going to just maybe like one or two
Okay,
um things from that. So the next question is, what are the common mistakes that some of us make when adopting to corporate culture in the UK, and
culture here.
how can they can we
One of the
avoid those
biggest problem is
pitfalls?
to try and do other people's job. We think we are doing them a favor. We always jump to try and help
Hmm.
others when they didn't request for the
Hmm.
help. When it's not even within your remit to do the job,
Yes.
you know, we try to be good. It makes
Yes.
you look silly. Excuse me. It
Hmm.
makes you look silly,
Hmm.
and it makes people think you don't make
Yeah.
good decisions, that you are not capable of making good
Hmm.
decisions. So we are very, because we are from
Hmm.
community, we are communal people. you know the way we live back home in
Yeah.
Africa is community based. Here is not. So you
Hmm.
try to help I remember, there was an incident, people, African, for
Hmm.
example. John will come to you and say, hi, Ty, do you mind if I leave early and you cover for me? Is that okay with you? He said, John, it's okay. You can
Hmm.
go. I'll do the rest of the work. And John goes, and you do the rest of the work. You cover for him. He got his full pay. Then the following week, you
Hmm.
say, John, hey, are you okay for me to leave early so I can pick my son? Will you cover for me? And John said, go and speak to the manager. Because we do
Hmm.
somebody favor at work, we do John a favor. We think that when it comes to our
Hmm.
own, John will do. No, 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 no. John will only do if it is convenient for him. He won't even think
For
about what
him.
you did in the past. So when you are making decision to help somebody at work, always do it if it is convenient and if it is legal,
Hmm.
if it's aligned with the
Legal.
policy of the organization. But John will always
Hmm.
follow the policy of the organization. The policy says if you are to leave early, you speak with the manager. So John will now
Hmm.
tell you, speak with the manager. Then you see John is racist, that you have
Yeah.
been helping John every week. John always leave because John sees that you are stupid and he can get away with it. It's your decision, not
yes,
him.
yes.
Because you didn't follow
Good.
policy. You can't expect John not to
That
follow policy.
that is a good. These things look as if they are not common. We're just saying it, but these are common things. Every
Very common.
one
I've
of
seen
us.
somebody got
Face.
sacked in care work because of
Mhm.
this.
Yeah,
Got sacked
yeah,
recently, I
mm,
think last year. Yeah. A lady,
yeah.
a Nigerian
Yes.
girl. The scenario is so funny. Like, I was like, why would you
Mhm.
do that? you know? It
So honestly,
she
so,
was a nice
mm,
supervisor, and somebody said wants to go and sleep. And he said they should go and sleep.
mm, you see, you
Because
see.
he's tired. He said, yeah, go and
Yeah.
sleep. So
Yeah.
instead of you to follow the policy, you use your
Mm,
emotion to make judgment.
your emotion. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there are many. We can't go through all of them. I
There
have
are
just
many.
mentioned
Yeah,
a
we
couple.
can. So
There are many of them.
obviously, that the what brings us to the last question today. You have worked in obviously you have worked in the civil society of Nigeria, and you have also worked here. Is there any differences, between corporate world in the UK and that of our place or other places? And
Well,
is there any?
in terms of the work itself,
Mm,
uh, and a project is a project, whether in London or in Nigeria, it does not matter.
mhm,
The legislative process in Nigeria National Assembly is very
mm,
similar to legislative process in America, for example. You know,
yeah.
we have we have the Senate and we have the House of Representatives. Now, the only difference is the culture.
Mm,
The culture here, when I say the culture, I'm not saying because the corporate culture is influenced by the culture of the people.
mhm,
You know, the corporate
yeah.
culture is influenced by the culture of the people. And I wouldn't talk
Mm,
about corruption because that is obvious. But in terms of the
yeah.
work in the civil service, they're exactly the same.
Mm,
In fact, if you are working in Nigerian civil service, you come here, you will see there are lazy people here as well. Very, very lazy. They don't want to work. They just want to be collecting salary, which is very common in
mm,
Nigeria as well. So there's no difference.
yeah.
In fact, here you will run into trouble if you are trying to do a lot of work. If you are trying to do more work, spending extra time doing your work. In fact, that will
Yeah.
actually work against you because they will believe that you can't manage
Yeah.
your time. You still have your computer on at 6 p.m. Your manager will ask you, "Are you
Oh,
why? You are supposed to finish at 5. Is there any reason why you have finished? I still have some servers. That means you can't manage your time within the work hour."
yeah. Yeah.
Do you see that? Because it reflects
Mm,
poorly on you. That means you you are unable to make good decision because you should be able to
mm,
incorporate unless it is absolutely necessary. But Nigerians, we are used to that if I work late, if I put extra hours, somebody will see me that I'm
mm,
working hard. So that's why I
yeah.
talk about the culture, the
Mm,
corporate
mm,
culture that is influenced by our culture as a people. The corporate culture
mm,
here is influenced by the culture of the English people or the British people. You understand?
mhm,
That's the only
yeah.
difference. And that's the thing you need
Mm,
to watch out for.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for those because they say common sense are not common anymore.
No, they're not. They're not.
So thank you. Yeah, they're expensive these days
Yeah,
for those
yeah.
great insights. And so the last question before we wrap up is so in the civil service here, obviously, because given the our topic where we are trying to help people who are just integrating into the society, is there any kind of mentorship program or training opportunities, to help people build their careers uh,
Ah, uh,
towards people who want to go into that sector?
but I offer mentorship. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. I support people. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I have a WhatsApp group where I put job, and if you want to go to interview, I will
Mm-hmm.
support you. If you things to watch, and it's in work, the in fact somebody yesterday sent me this um what's his name, sent me this
Mm.
yesterday. He said, I don't know if you can see it. He said,
No,
good morning, Egbon. I am if you see this, what does this say? Can you see
yeah,
it?
no, I think it's a completion of probation. I think
What's
the
the
picture the
department?
person said.
What's the department?
I can't read the department very well.
Department for
For work and pension, yes.
exactly. He just completed
Yeah.
it, and he said, good morning, Egbon. I am very happy to inform you that I have passed my probation. I want to sincerely thank you for this feat attained. This became possible through God
Mm-hmm.
and you. He was one of my
Yeah.
mentees, you see,
Okay.
and
Mm.
and I met this guy last year, supported him, got the
Mm.
job in the civil service. He's now working in the civil service, doing well.
Mm.
Just passed his probation. I'm so happy. This was yesterday. And send it to
Mm.
me. If you
Mm.
want to show this, don't just hide the thingy.
The name.
Um,
Yeah.
I offer that opportunity for people because I know it's difficult out there to get our people who work
Mm.
in the civil service, but
Yeah.
always go on
Yes.
on
Yes.
LinkedIn as well. I think
Mm.
a lot of people who are my mentors now, I met them through
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. I see
LinkedIn.
people
Yeah.
that are like, oh, this person has done this, I've done this. I quickly
Mm.
contact them, send them an email. This is me, and I would like you to be my mentor. And I start contacting them, talking to them, and that has
Mm.
really helped me a lot. So it's not just me that is offering that. Some people are happy to support you as well. So that is the most important thing. Linking up. LinkedIn is a very great place to find people who can
Like
mentor. Some people, if you can email 10 people and only two will respond, and maybe only
will
one
respond.
will actually take you on board, and
Take you.
that's
Yeah.
okay. But you
Yeah.
not trying at all is not something that will help. You understand?
Yeah. Yes. All right. That brings us to today's discussion, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you very
Um,
much. Thank you. Anytime.
so,
I'm happy to be here.
like, like I said, we will bring you again
Definitely.
to
Definitely.
give us your experience on other topics. And until then, we'll say thank you so much for joining us today.